Hey guys, T here. Today I got to look at the Tier 4 Russian destroyer, Podvoisky, better known as the Pod. Here I got Vlad Trubes on the screen. Notice Vian Sims is the inspiration. We're building in survivability into this thing. We already have the worst detectability as a class, and due to the playstyle of these things, we're going to be expecting to be spotted for the majority of the game. So speccing them out for concealment, kind of not ideal in my opinion. I would play around with more of the survivability perks. Violet, I believe, is the French commander that kind of functions as lemon, where it cuts the cooldown on your guns, or the detectability cooldown. You can run that one as well. There's a few different options, but those are kind of the philosophy, or that's my philosophical approach to it, at least through the first two, the Tier 3, Tier 4 destroyers that we've seen so far. A lot of people are giving me comments or feedback saying they don't know how to play these destroyers very well. I picked this game kind of as, it's not a barn burner in terms of damage. Score ends up being pretty good. We definitely contribute in this game here and help our team win. But we're not looking to, if you want to play these low tier Russian destroyers by bum rushing unaware battleships, that's your prerogative. You can get away with that in these tiers, but my recommendation, if you got the low tier destroyers, either through the crates now in early access, or if you watch this later and you're just grinding the line once it's fully released, try and get into the habit of playing these ships as they're meant to be played, would be my recommendation. Now we got domination mode, Haven, only one destroyer on their team, which is why I'm kind of being relatively aggressive capturing the objectives here. These are not designed to be pressuring objectives early on. They're kind of, as I've been thinking about how to play these ships and how to think about them, I coming up with the term support ship, which is kind of how a lot of people describe cruiser play. But these destroyers, I think, to be really effective, you got to be really focusing on what's going on in the game and then responding to that accordingly. You can zoom around and kind of help out wherever you're needed. I mean, this ship in particular is extremely fast. It's, I don't know the exact top miles per hour or whatever the hell, knots in the water, but it's over 40. I mean, shooting against these, I've had to adjust how I aim against my destroyers typically, because you're going to be shooting behind these things. So you can use your speed to your advantage, help you, disengage if necessary, or just dodge shots and make it harder for the enemy to hit. But in general, due to the fact that you can get around very quickly, keep an eye on the map and just kind of respond accordingly. Now here I'm in a situation where I was hoping that Congo behind me was going to be able to spot that Königsberg, and we could have ripped him with some AP as he was going broadside. Unfortunately, my smoke blocked him and he wasn't able to get in a position to spot for me. And rather than just sit there staring at the Normandy for 10 minutes, I just decided the action's over here in this cap B, and we're just going to come over here and see what we can do to support. And right up here we got the Mutsuki popping up. Now you'll notice on the left-hand side of the screen there, we got a cruiser supporting. So I don't want to go towards the cruiser and try and hit the Mutsuki off the right-hand side of my ship. We need to be focusing on staying away from their support ships. Battleships, cruisers, those are the ones when the destroyers spot you, and they are going to outspot you. If those guys are Johnny on the spot, they're going to blast you. They're going to take you out of the game very quickly before you have a chance to really do anything. But now that cruiser is kind of behind the island and I'm looking around, I'm not seeing a lot of threats that are likely focused into my area that are going to be able to quickly respond to this. So you can see Twist and Track with Trubes. I think he's going to be the better commander for this line of ships. And Twist and Track's part of it. We got a bead on that Mutsuki, and we're just kind of rushing him down here. Again, really focusing on who can support this guy. We get outspotted there, that's to be expected. But it's Mutsuki pops up, and this was a surprise. He's behind the island, so now I'm kind of looking around what's going on, and here's the Königsberg from earlier. So we're going to discharge the HE. He's still sailing broadside to us. We're using this island on the right to block the Mutsuki's attempted torps, assuming that's what he wants to do to us. Get the AP loaded, and bam, down he goes. And, Gurren, his AP pen boost, it's going to allow you to do that at longer ranges. But at the ranges that I've been playing this ship at least, I'm not really seeing any problems with the AP penetrating here. Mutsuki's trying to rush and torp. we are speeding up, and due to the fact that we're really fast here, we dodge those torps. Launch the torps at him. I don't normally recommend destroyers trying to launch torps at other destroyers, but that was a point-blank shot, one that I was going to have a hard time missing. That shot there, let's just not even talk about it. Clearly going to be blocked. Anyway, Kirov is moving forward now, and that allows us to fire. Did have HE loaded there, but we switched right over to AP. Again, these broadside cruisers, especially the lightly armored ones at Tier 3, Tier 4, I'm not going to have any issue tearing these things apart, and you're going to see these damage outputs that we're getting on these shells here. Quite effective. So, again, Gurren is the AP-focused commander, but Troops, you get the twist and track, you get damage increase to both shells, so on and so forth. And this AP, at least, at the 2 destroyers that we've played so far, seems to be working just fine for me. The one advantage that Gurren really has is the slot 4 perk. It's an increased dispersion perk, and if you combine that with Vian, my Vian's only level 11 at the moment, by the way, but he's one that you can level up for an inspiration. If you got those incoming dispersion perks on your commander build and the Vian inspiration, that's going to make it a lot harder for enemies to hit this ship. And even just having Vian on here, I've watched some incoming salvos coming my way and noticed that they were likely influenced by that. So that's Gurren's main strength, in my opinion, and the reason to pick him. The AP pen is fine, it'll help you, but it doesn't kind of outweigh the other advantages Trubitsky has. Now, coming around here, Kirov's obviously just trying to sit behind this island, as he's been doing most of the game, but he's still broadside, which is a bit of an issue. We do have the option to torp here if things got really sticky, but due to the fact that he's not protecting himself properly, we're able to slaughter him relatively quickly here. Brittany over here, we're within range. We can see on the map there that we're going to get some sustained fire. You want to check to make sure the ships aren't just about to go out of your firing range before you set up a smoke. But he was coming in, and even though he's trying to leave now, we're able to get some sustained fire at least. And we do fire off some HE here, and it occurs to me I like to test out the guns in all situations, so we're going to switch over to AP here once we get the aim settled down. That was the bug where it's not following your selected target properly. And you can see here, once we get these shots going, the Brittany's not the most heavily armored battleship, and we're shooting upper hull into superstructure, which is what you want to be doing. But we're able to get some decent damage here, whether it would be more effective than the HE, which you're going to get damage from that, preferably if you're hitting them in the same locations that we're trying to hit these shells in. But you also have the fire starting chance, so maybe or maybe not this is the correct shell at this place in time, but I do like to test the shells, especially when we're trying out new ships, getting a feel for them. And anytime you have a quick cycling reload type of ship, like a destroyer, fast-firing cruisers, you might as well test out both shells and see if the AP is actually effective in that instance. If it is, then go ahead and use it. If it's not, then you have the quick transition over to the HE. And here's the thing I referenced earlier, where if you can see the battleship that's on their cap, he's outside of my max firing range, so I can shoot with impunity. He's not going to spot me. Meanwhile, New York's covered by this island, so we can actually free fire here without needing smoke or any sort of cover and get away with this just fine. We're going for the Kraken here, hoping to get it, but unfortunately it doesn't happen. Either way, I thought this was a pretty decent look at how the pod should be played, and I expect that to be translating up and down the line once it's fully released. Anyway, that's a look at that one. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. A lot of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave below. Love to hear from you guys. And we'll see y'all later. Alright, peace.